I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to present some information about the DataTerra research infrastructure. And my presentation is a short view of the activities of DataTerra research infrastructure, which is a new research infrastructure organized on different data pool that I will explain further. So the context, the scientific context and the global aims of the data research infrastructure is to answer to the needs and to the different aspect of how to develop an integrated approach of the Earth system and the complexity of the system, combining the understanding of different geophysical, geodynamical, environmental processes at different scale, spatial, temporal, but also also spectral scales, depend on the thematics. There is many interaction between the different components, land surfaces, ocean, atmosphere, inner Earth. So the objective of the data research infrastructure is to share the information, to facilitate the access to the information, and the information is derived from data, satellite data, in situ campaign, also long-term observation result from different research and result experimentation. So the idea is to build a national research infrastructure open to European and international aspect, to give to the scientists the possibility to access to all this data in a more easiest way. A few words about the context of the research infrastructure in Earth, environmental and Earth system domains. So I know that you have all this information in mind, but it's important to see the specific positioning of the DataTerra research infrastructure. You can see that there is different domain, atmosphere, continental surfaces, solid earth and ocean, and a lot of research infrastructure that are organized in different aspects. Some infrastructure are dedicated to the acquisition and curation of the data, and other are more focused on the use of the data and the catalog and the development of services of all the data cycle information. DataTerra is one of these, organized with different data pools connected to research infrastructure on each of the domain. And then specificity is that DataTerra integrated satellite information and in situ data and information. You can see also that there is a lot of connection between DataTerra is the e-infrastructure, distributed and virtual infrastructure connected with the different infrastructure in these domains. What are the needs for our infrastructure? We saw that in different research perspective from CNRS, from CNES, from different other partners, there is some more and more needs to acquire multi-source data, multi-sensor, multi-scale, using artificial intelligence and big data services in a long-term way, and to develop more interdisciplinary approach and to analyze and to be in the context of the complexity of the Earth system. So the ambition of DataTerra is to develop a global system to access to data, products, and treatment services for observation, understanding, and prediction in an integrated way to the functioning and evolution of the Earth system submitted to global change impact notably. So the specific goals are to implement this vision at national level, but also at European level and international level. in the Earth observation data information context, to facilitate the access to the data and product, and to develop mutualization, interoperability, and multidisciplinary approach for the scientific communities. In terms of organization, we are in the National Research Infrastructure Roadmap until a few years. And we are organized with some autonomous data pool in different domains. So each of the data pool is organized like a consortium of partners. They are engaged to propose different kind of services with different data and service centers. And all those data pool are in network. So we share some infrastructure. We share also competencies in different ways to have the guarantee to have a global approach of the Earth system specificities. We develop some transversal activities such as Dynamis. I will give you some more information after. And also a regular committee technical expert in all the fairization of data, in all the different aspects that is necessary to share, to develop at global scale the same approach or compatible, the interoperability between the data services and also for treatments, to guarantee that for scientists, there is some more and more compatible possibilities. DataTerra is a big infrastructure in terms of number of partners, about 30 partners, an executive board composed by 7 organisms that are very involved in the DataTerra approach. And we have also direction between all the responsible in Datapol and the direction of DataTerra. Some figures about our activities is the 4 data pool. We have several data and services infrastructure, about 30 scientific expertise consortium to guarantee that the result of the research can be developed for all the communities, and also that all the labs that are involved are be integrated in the co-construction of the design of the different services and the infrastructures. We are confronted with the very high evolution of number of data that we have to face, about more than 100 petabytes actually at this time. And all the organization involve more than 400 scientists, data scientists, engineers, and technicians between all the data pools. So you can see the different figures. That means that this is an important infrastructure with a lot of organisms involved in this strategy. I give you just an example of the activities of one data pool, which is Theia Land Data Center. Each data pool is organized with the specificity of the needs of the domains and the ecosystem of the different partners that are involved. And Theia is one of the important data pools that are more dedicated to spatial data and also in situ data, but mainly to use information and product derived from spatial information. This is a specificity of the Theia Land hub, but we have also some specificities for ocean, atmosphere, and also for those domains. So for Theia, the organization is you have different tools for managing all these activities. We have we are a consortium of laboratories who are involved to developing some specific products. and then TEIA organized the animation of the communities and to test in terms of pilot project the different solution. There is also connection with the society, with the regional animation network that are developed in all the area. And you have some example of products that TEIA can propose to the community. Few example in terms of land cover and use, maps, snow coverage, soil moistures, lake and river heights, several products that have been developed by the community, and then the services are developed to have a more operational in terms of production of regular data, but also on-demand production. It depends on the domain. You have some example of the maps. Some example of the land cover maps. There is some regular acquisition on high resolution information, and then all the data are integrated with a specific typology, and then we can produce every 6 months or every year some information that are very useful for scientific community, but also for public actors that can be used the up-to-date and state-of-the-art capacity to describe the area and the dynamics. Another example at international level is the capacity to propose for all the lakes and rivers the water levels in near real times. So you can have with the accuracy associated with the data, all those virtual stations on the rivers, and also information about lakes. All this information are done using different kind of satellite series of altimetry satellites. For example, Jason 3, Sentinel, but also SWOT in the SWOT mission for the future. Another example is to produce regular maps of snow coverage at some high resolution spatial information, but also regular, every 5 days, there is an update of the data. So this product is integrated to the Copernicus land monitoring services. Another example of services, of concrete services, is the organization inside of DataTerra consortium to mutualize the acquisition and the capacity to program satellites in high resolution to use for free all the information for all the scientific communities. There are more than 5,000 people who can use the product and use this information for a lot of kind of application to monitor forest biodiversity, agriculture, and so on. This is just concrete example that I choose to present in this area, just to have an idea of some specific activities of DataTerra research infrastructure. Our priorities at this time is to reinforce our cross-cutting activities between the different data pools, but also with other data pools in national research infrastructure, such as biodiversity. We are working also with the Climary research infrastructure for modeling the climate and for using data reference of the different CEMIPSIPS data, for example. And we are also really involved in different EOSC projects and also Copernicus services, and all that is going to be built at the European level. For example, in the EOSC Pillar consortium, we are involved in different use cases in different areas to build some common services, about catalogs, about standardization, about specific services to share the information in the open science context. At international level, we are involved in the GEO, and we are partner of different initiatives, and we are also one of the partners of GoFair INS to promote a generic and multi-domain approach of the FAIR data in the context of environmental use of this data. We propose in the context of the Equipex Plus initiative a project that can be really helpful to develop a distributed and integrated platform that we can use to share the information, to combine different kind of information using HPC capacities and also all the services that are needed from the acquisition to the use of the data for the communities. And in fact, we try to develop specifically services using deep learning and big data services. So this is a short global view of the research data of the of DataTerra research infrastructure for the moment, and I'm open for question or for some more information about our activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Frédéric. Is there some questions, remarks? I have a naive question because I'm clearly not in the field, but is there some plan to use, I mean, to make citizens involved in local data taking and put it in some way in the global infrastructure?
Yes, we have reflection to integrate some citizen data, especially for biodiversity information or for some land use and land coverage change, because we produce that kind of data, and there is also a lot of capacities now for different actors to propose some interesting data. For example, in seismology, there is now the possibility to acquire some little information, and that can be a good contribution but the problem is now is how to manage the quality of the data and integrate this information in the context of this organized capacity. So there is a reflection, but we don't have, for the moment, concrete strategy and organization. We know that we have to work on that, as a lot of research infrastructure, I know, but for the moment, it's the beginning.
Thank you.
We have a question from Eric. Eric, please.
Yes. I'm curious, so do you have a measure of what is the additional science this DataTerra allows? Do you have some global measurement that of, I don't know, papers that wouldn't have existed without DataTerra or things like this?
Difficult question. Yes, we have. We know that some communities, for example, in atmosphere, an important research cannot be done if we don't have the production of some series of data with algorithm to calibrate, to define some indicators and so on. So we know that for example, with spatial derived information, without our services, it was not possible to use the data because of the volumetry, because of the specificity, because also of the difficulties to integrate algorithm and use it to different data center and so on. So in that specific aspect, we can produce a lot of information to demonstrate that kind of things. The same thing, for example, in ocean. For some research, you have to combine in situ data and also with 20 years of temperature evolution. So this was not possible without the Audatis services who can combine with CNES, with IFREMER, with CNRS, all this capacity and to integrate those information. I give you just information on that, but we don't have some specific measures enough to measure in terms of publication, in terms of numbers. And we have example. For example, I propose you some maps on in France. We know that already, without this regular access to the data, some maybe 10 or 20% of the activity of certain labs cannot be done. It's completely integrated in the research. If, for example, the data are not regular producing, you have immediately a reaction of all the scientists that ask us, okay, what can be done to. So there are more. It's for spatial data, for in situ data. It's also the case, but it's more focused on the capacity that the labs. This is very difficult at this time to manage important series of data and to develop a fair aspect to combine the data with a good standard and so on. So we have a lot of effort in that. I don't know if I answer well, but
no, that's okay. Thank you.